So today's video, we're going to do something a little bit new that I haven't done in any of my sessions, whether it be on Instagram or on here before. And it's some work that I've been learning from somebody called Missy Bunch, who you will find on Instagram, but she also has a website with some useful stuff on it. It's looking at a different way of accessing pain pathways and our parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system through the cranial nerves in the brainstem, which is the primitive part of the brain. So these are more of the reflexive activities that we don't have motor control over from the brain, because they're working from the brainstem, which is the part of the brain that deals with the automatic stuff, like your breathing and your heart rate and your blood pressure and all of those internal senses, your digestion and hormones and all of that regulation. But there are some really important nerves that come out of the brainstem called the cranial nerves that are involved in our senses. So they're involved in sight, sound, taste, all of those sensory sort of inputs. So what we can do using the cranial nerves is do some visual exercises or some vestibular exercises. We can even do touching and tasting and smelling, different exercises to stimulate the brainstem and try to bring the nervous system down into a parasympathetic state. We spend a lot of time in our modern world, because we have sensory overload. We're always processing information, either on our phones or in the world or whatever. We have very little calm downtime where we can really settle into that parasympathetic nervous system. It's probably the only time it's really in bed these days, because we're always being stimulated by something, which can keep us in that fight or flight sympathetic nervous system state for quite long periods of time. When we were more hunter-gatherers, we were spending less time in that state, and therefore we weren't holding so much tension in our bodies, because when we're in the sympathetic nervous system state, our respiration goes up, our heart rate might go up, our body's priming itself to run away or to fight. Therefore, we've got a baseline tension in our muscles because they're ready, firing, ready to go. And therefore, we often wonder why we get sore shoulders or sort of aches and pains in our bodies. And a lot of the time, it may be that we are spending too much time in that sympathetic, heightened tension state without even realizing it. So these exercises are another way into the nervous system to try to down-regulate it. And I've been finding it fascinating, and seeing the results and noticing on myself has also been interesting. Now, I thought I had record on just now, so I've gone through this whole thing and then realized it was just on photo mode. So I have done this already. So when I do my test movements, they were quite stiff when I did the last what I thought was a recording. And obviously now I have done all these exercises within the last 10-15 minutes. So my body does feel different. So I will demonstrate them, trying to sort of roughly get the ranges of movements I did the first time I had it. But I'm going to teach you first over on the mat. You don't need to be on a mat, but I'll just do it for demonstration purposes. 4 possible movements that you could use as your test movement, and then you do the exercise for the visual cortex, and then you would retest the movement and notice if you find a change in the sensations in your body. Does the movement feel easier, softer, less gnarly at the ends? So often when I haven't been using my body that much, and if I haven't just done a nice class or done something physical that's made all my muscles soft and mobile, when I first do a roll down or a neck side flexion, it can feel a little bit stiff and hold a little bit of tension. And I can do these eye exercises, which does not involve any of those movements, but then I can retest those movements and they will feel much softer and I will have more movement. So that's what we're going to do today, and you're going to just use it as an experiment on your body, because they can be really useful exercises to add in to down-regulate your nervous system, to try to get softer, feeling of more softness and relaxation and calm in your body. So I'm going to teach you 4 test movements, and you can see what they feel like for you and choose 1 or 2 of them. Or if you've got a particular movement that you know is not particularly comfortable for you, you could choose that movement. So the first movement we do is roll down. My feet are about fist width apart,
And I'm just going to do a natural roll down, and you're going to your end feel. So when I did this just now to start with, I started to feel tension in my back line at about here. So I could still push to the floor, but that was pushing through a sensation of tension. So I want you to just go to where you feel your natural, what we call it, reflexive end point, where your body starts to go, ooh, I'm hitting towards the end of my range without pushing into it. And then notice where you are and what sensations you feel in your body. Where is the tension? What are you feeling? And then coming back out.
Another movement you can test is standing again, feet fist width apart, and you can keep your feet grounded and turn your body from your feet all the way as far as your body can go, and notice where you get to and how it feels at the end of the range. And then we're going to go the other way and feel this again, the same. Let your body just move with you and feeling what it feels like at the end of your movement, and then coming back to the middle. The third movement you could try is having your arm out to the side. Make sure your elbow is not too high, so it wants to be slightly lower than your shoulder. And then you're going to drop your arm into what we call medial rotation and just test that movement. That can feel a bit sticky and tight for some people, so you're just going to sense what that feels like, and the same on the other side. And then the last movement that can be quite a good one for a lot of people is side flexion of the neck. So you're dropping your ear down to one side, lifting the ear up on the other side, and then doing the same. And just seeing, what does it feel like at the end of your movement? Is there muscle tension? What does the quality and the quantity of the movement look and feel like? And then we'll go through the first exercise. So the first exercise, I'm going to use a pencil because these are just crayons. They've got nice coloured tips, which I find quite useful, but you can use any pencil, you could use a chopstick, anything that you can follow the end of. And I'm going to sit with my arm out, my shoulder is soft and my elbow is slightly bent, so I don't want a rigid arm because I want you to have softness in your arm. The other hand, you're going to have a couple of fingers on your chin, and that chin stays over your breastbone, so you're not going to turn your head. Then we're going to take the pencil sort of to about 30 degrees one side. It can go a little bit further if you want to, up towards 45, but no more than that. And then bring it back to the midline and then take it to the other side. Trying to take it on a sweeping movement from one side to the other. So as continuously sweeping, Missy Bunch calls it smooth pursuits. You're smoothly sweeping that arm. Keep the shoulder and the arm soft so you're not creating tension in that, and you're following the movement with your eyes. When you get better at it, you can try different speeds, but it's really good just to go slowly with the tracking to start with. And you want to do about 6. I think I've probably done about 4. And then we're going to switch hands and have a soft elbow, soft shoulder, and we're going to do the same. So we're starting to the side that you didn't start, and then we're going across and back. Keeping your chin over your breastbone, not letting the head rotate. This might be 4 or it might be 5 because I've not stopped counting. I'm just concentrating on following it with my eyes. And then we'll finish on that one. And then relaxing, putting your pencil down, and we can go back to the mat or just be wherever you are. Now I've sat to do the exercises. You can just as well do them standing, but I just thought it's clearer if I'm nearer the camera and then I need to sit to get the distances right. But again, you can check your roll down.
Feel how it feels when you've just done that. Notice what your back line feels like, where your end of range is, where your hands are going to before you feel tension. Rolling back up.
Taking your arms in front of you if that was an exercise that felt stiff. And again, you're looking at the movement in both directions. seeing what the quality and the quantity feel like. What does the end feel? I always find when I've done them, even doing them for the second time, it feels much softer, and the quality and the quantity of the movement feels smoother and better and less resistance at the ends. Sorry, the other two. I was going to come back for the next exercise. You can check your medial rotation and you can check your medial rotation. And again, you're just comparing and contrasting. And then you can do your neck side flexion. And again, just see how that feels. And you're comparing and noticing if any of them felt like the movement was better quality or better quantity than it had been the first time when you first tested. Some of you may have found a difference in your movements, and either the feeling at the end or the range of movement that you could gain. And then you know that that might be an exercise to do, and do the test and retest, and do it over the weeks and see if you were carrying tension in your body, whether you notice that you're carrying less tension in your body having done this exercise for a little while. If you found no difference, then you could try the second exercise. If you were finding a difference with the first, you can still try the second, but sometimes you don't want to bombard with lots of different information all on the same go. So you could then try the second one tomorrow and test and retest and see if you get better results after the test and retest tomorrow with this different exercise than you did today with the first exercise. So this one is pencil push-ups, that's what Missy Bunch calls it. And you're going to hold the pencil straight in front of you. And you're going to bring the pencil towards the bridge of your nose so your eyes converge. And then you're going to take it away. And again, we're going to do 6 on each side. You're going to really focus on the eyes converging on the tip of the pencil or your chopstick or your pen or whatever you've got that you're using. And again, you don't want to go so fast that you can't keep up with the movement. You want to allow your eyes to converge together onto that point. And what you can also do with this one, because different people's eyes track differently, certainly if you're like me, well into my 50s, you might find that you've resorted to reading glasses, and therefore this convergence muscle might not be very strong because it's used to doing having glasses on to help you with it when you're reading. So this can be quite a good one to help you with your ability to look at text closer to you. I've probably done way more than 6 now because I was talking. And then we're going to do the other side. So you're following that, converging and coming away, and converging. Again, if you're interested, if you wear glasses for everyday stuff, if you go onto Missy Bunch's website, you can find out there are arguments for and against doing the exercises in glasses or not in glasses. You can try both. Do some with and some without, and notice if you get a difference when you've got your glasses on or whether you get a difference when you've got your glasses off, to decide whether it's better to do them with them on or off. But again, you're just exploring and seeing what you can do to down-regulate your nervous system, calm down those systems so that you can have softer, more fluid movements. So that's probably about 6 on that side as well. So we're going to go back and you can again retest your movements. So if some of them felt good after the last time, you might find that some of the others have changed this time, but you can just test through them. I find that when I've done all of these, my forward roll feels so much softer, my hands get so much closer to the ground, my rotation just feels less jarry at the end, less tissue tension, and I go further. And my medial rotation, which was really poor before I started doing these exercises a month or so ago, and is completely fine now. I don't get any discomfort at the end of range, whereas before I had a problem with this one. So that's completely cleared that range of movement. And my neck always feels better after the pencil push-ups compared to the smooth pursuits. So you're just exploring and noticing maybe one of those two gave you better results, or you may have had an accumulative effect of doing both of them. And then the last exercise we're doing, I'll sit right in front of you because I'm going to look straight at the camera. This is more working on the cranial nerves involved in your vestibular system. You're going to keep your eyes fixed straight ahead, but you're going to move your head from side to side. So you're going to only move your nose sort of a couple of inches to each side, but my vision is staying fixed on the object in front of me. And it can be anything that's at your eye line, that's straight in front of you, that you're fixing on, and then you're just moving your head from side to side. And you can, if you don't have vertigo or sort of motion sickness, you can build up the speed, so you increase the speed, but you don't want to make yourself feel nauseous or dizzy. So just testing that. And you can do these all in standing and test and retest without moving backwards and forwards. I'm just coming closer for the video purposes. And I find this one quite hard because I find my eyes want to go with me when I move my head. So you're just, again, testing these systems in your body that are coordinated subcortically in your brainstem rather than up in the cortexes of your brain. So they are more automatic systems that we can tune into to impact how our nervous system is functioning. So again, after that last one, you can go back to your mat and you can test and
retest your movements, and that one feels really nice now for me.
And that one, again, I feel like I go a lot further after that vestibular one. These ones for me felt fine, but if they weren't fine for you, you can test and retest them. And my neck ones are always generally a little bit stiff, but again, they feel like they've softened and I've got more movement having just done that last, more vestibular focused exercise. So completely different to what I normally do, but quite interesting to have a go and test, retest. It can be really useful for if you are suffering from sort of these niggly problems with your body, where your body has almost become worried about a particular area of your body, and you've tried exercises and you've tried various things and you're not really getting anywhere. Maybe try doing some of these, test and retest your painful movements and see whether you notice any changes in your symptoms after you've done them, and whether any one of those 3 exercises makes a bigger difference than the other. And then you can incorporate that into your daily routine because they're all very simple and very quick to do. So have an explore. If you've got any comments, I would be very interested to see how you get on with them. As I say, I might post Missy's information in a second post on Instagram just to give you some information about it, and I'll probably put it in my video notes underneath the video as well. All right, have fun with that, and if you've got any comments, I'd be very keen to hear. See you soon.